For my next look, this is Joan. She's an ad executive from the city. And she's here to make big deals. Get ready with me while I talk to you about the fashions and makeup of the 80s and scratch my forehead up because the teeth on this vintage headband, ouch. The 1980s is one of the most sartorially interesting decades I think that we've really witnessed since fashion kind of became modern, and it gets shit on a lot. When you look at like media from the 80s or you look at magazines from the 80s and like catalogs, like sometimes I get really nostalgic and I'll look at like Christmas catalogs from like the 80s and the early 90s, and I remember those good old days where you could buy a house on just one full-time salary. And I get actually really inspired because I think that that moment in time for fashion, specifically feminine fashion, was just really interesting. There was a lot of really strong sartorial statements being made in the 80s specifically, and it's not something that I've really noticed in the same way since. And so I just kind of look at the fashions and I think that there's a lot of fun in them. I think there's a lot of elegance in them, and I think there's a lot of whimsy in them as well. With all that being said, I've been really inspired by the 1980s. The romanticism, the aesthetics, the looks, like the makeup, and even the hair and the clothes, just everything. I've just been really inspired by the 80s, and it might just be like the nostalgia in me is just kind of coming out really strong. I don't know. But anyways, when Merge Gardens reached out to me to collaborate on a video, and they wanted the collaboration to be this like 1980s makeover, I was like, yeah, totally.
You have no idea how hard it was to find you, sweetheart.
I guess Mom didn't want me to know about this place.
Well, now you own it.
Ugh.
Ooh.
If you're not familiar with Merge Gardens, it is a really cute, just merging game. It's completely free to download on your phone, where Daisy inherits her uncle's Pink Lady house and this overgrown garden. What they come to discover is that the garden has a plant in it called evergrowth that when it touches you, you become a topiary. The topiaries that are scattered around the garden are actually people from the past. And it's up to Daisy to basically rescue them through merging pieces of the puzzles together to get enough points to clear out the evergrowth and then to bring those people back to life. So one of the first characters that she meets in this video game is Mike.
My.
What the? Oh, hey there, ladies.
And Mike was a private investigator from 1987, got turned into a topiary, and when he comes back to life, he is literally just a walking example of masculine fashion of 1987. For this video, I thought it would be really fun to do a feminine take on Mike, and what would Mike's like older, more sophisticated, put together, very intelligent and responsible private investigator coworker look like from 1987? To make it fun and chaotically interesting, I have found tutorials from 1987 specifically, and I have used those tutorials to the best of my ability to find either products that are still being manufactured or products that are from the same brands that are the same colors or as close to the same colors that they were using. Your girl went to the drugstore and she wiped out CoverGirl and Maybelline.
To the music, rhythm bumping through your.
It turns out makeup in 1987 specifically, was very broad. There was no one way to do makeup. There was definitely some 1940s inspiration by the end of the year. There's some very like Ralph Lauren, like natural, like country aesthetic. We still have color being used, but it's a bit softer. But then we also see in like, especially the early part of the year, like a bit bolder makeup of like, you know, bright colors and things like that. So I'm using basically 2 tutorials for the really like specific instructions. One is from 17 magazine and the other one is from Parents magazine, and they're both from 1987. When applying the foundation, blend the color up and out from the T-zone and cheek area using a damp sponge for smooth coverage. Sponge of choice was the CoverGirl Makeup Mates Sponge Wedges. Coverage should be minimal and foundation should never be applied to the neck. So they don't have the triangle. CoverGirl didn't have the triangle wedges anymore. They do have these little like rectangles, so I just got these. This is the CoverGirl Clean. That might not be too bad. Oh yeah, oh, you can smell the camphor. Have they actually changed this recipe since the 60s? I don't know. Ooh, fascinating.
America's look. It starts with CoverGirl Clean Makeup.
With damp sponge, blend dots, moving the sponge outward. Okay, we're blending outward. Am I seeing any impact at all on this? No. Okay. Did that do anything? I think my sponge just soaked it up. I cannot tell a difference. Okay, let's apply a little bit more because there's no concealer. Like concealer, okay, so here's the deal with concealer. Concealers were around, like I know this, but I could not find a tutorial that like referenced anything specifically with concealers. Like they're just like, put on foundation. You're like, oh, okay, should I do anything else? And they're like, put on foundation. I'm like, okay, but I'm not a foundation girly. Like, I've opted to forego using concealer as much as I want to because I just didn't see any references to it. Next step is to powder my foundation.
The only makeup that's Noxzema clean.
It's America's look, and America's look is CoverGirl.
Dip a large velour puff into loose translucent powder, then gently press a loaded puff into your skin. Apply powder over the eyelids too, and don't forget your neck. Buff off the excess with a fluffy powder brush. Okay, so while I could have gotten the loose powder, let's all be honest, this was it. This is what all the moms used, the compressed powder pack by CoverGirl. So that's what we're gonna use too.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
I just like really wanted to lean heavily into the nostalgia. Yeah, God, this all smells the same. Oh God, this is giving me flashbacks. I was reading these articles about makeup and like their application of makeup and how they talk about makeup and like just like the fashions and stuff too. Like I do actually think that we as like a society are being heavily influenced by the 80s and we don't even realize it. Brush off any excess that I have. I think the powder honestly has helped kind of even out my skin tone. I look kind of dead. Maybe it's okay. The dark circles under my eyes are still not my favorite, but whatever. Eyebrows, really quickly. When I was reading all of the different magazines and like different tips and tricks about eyebrows and like looking at people's eyebrows, there was like a whole gamut of options. So there's a lot of talk about just like eyebrow pencils with like a brush. There was someone in one Cosmo article who talked about like using mustache wax. I even found like a soap brow reference from the early 80s. So I feel like the eyebrows are kind of, you just do what you want to do. An eyebrow pencil with a brush is fine. So that's actually what I'm just gonna do really quickly because I don't do too much with my eyebrows anyways. And I didn't buy like a new eyebrow pencil because I just didn't feel like that was super relevant to like this whole experiment, you know? I think my eyebrows are pretty much just like, they are what they are. Says eyeliner drawn close to the eyelashes brightens the whites of the eyes as it makes eyes look bigger. For the most natural effect, keeping the line soft is key. One of Leah's tricks, choosing a colored eyeliner such as teal rather than black, which can look too harsh. Another is to slightly smudge the line. Take a small makeup brush and blend over the line from the inner to outer corner. I thought this was interesting. Both tutorials actually say to use a teal eyeliner, and somehow like Maybelline actually still has a teal eyeliner. So I grabbed it. Oh God, this is like really hard to do. Hey, that goes on pretty nice though. All right, I'm gonna do my under eye as well. So the makeup brush that she's using is kind of like long and tapered. I don't have anything that looks exactly like that. We're just gonna blend. So yeah, I don't know. I've just been like super inspired. And like, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to like in the like auction house world, but Princess Diana's like iconic lamb sweater just sold for like $1.14 million at auction. And the brand that created the sweater in the 80s is like still manufacturing that sweater. Plus we have this whole like resurgence of cottagecore, Gunny Sacks coming back, and like even Laura Ashley is like coming back when it comes to clothes and kind of like revamping their line and their clothing aesthetic and like working with like other like indie brands like Batchiva to like do these clothing collaborations. And I don't know, I just think it's interesting. Like Look at the sweater that I'm wearing. Like, this is a brand new sweater. I bought this because I was like, oh my gosh, it has apples. Like, I love like these vintage like novelty sweaters. I just think it's really cool. And like, I look at photos of my mom who, you know, she was in her 30s in the 80s. You know, it's when she had me and she had like living her like best life and career. And I think of like the clothes that she was wearing and how I always just thought she looked really cool. Like, I mean, obviously, like that's a little kid looking up to their mom and like that whole thing, but like I don't look at photos of my mom from the 80s today and think she looks dumb or weird. I always think she looks awesome. Like, I just think the clothes were really, really cool. And they just kind of get crapped on a lot. I think it's cool. Like, I'm putting on teal eyeliner right now, and this is like what they were like telling adult women to do in the workforce. Like, yeah, wear teal eyeliner. That's it. Like, nowadays we'd be like,
oh, well, you wear teal eyeliner into the office.
It's like, well, our moms were. This is business, baby. It says, keeping eyeshadow simple is your best bet for beautiful eyes. To make eyes look wider, apply pale peach shadow to the inner half of the lids. Next, brush a deep blue-green shadow to the outside corner of the upper lids. Make an inverted V shape by starting the shadow just below the outer corner, then sweep the brush up, out, and in. Blend smoothly to emphasize the upward lift. Curl the eyelashes with an eyelash curler. So I have this palette from CoverGirl, which is just a bunch of like kind of peachy taupes. It's called Country Woods. And then I got this palette from Maybelline because it has the blue teal, but there was literally a tutorial that was like, don't forget to use the sponge tip applicator that is included with the eyeshadow. And I was like, challenge accepted. I honestly, like, I'm surprised how many like brush tutorial like instructions are there. I don't think I saw a makeup brush in like my mom's makeup bag until the 2000s. Okay, I'm gonna say it though. I'm actually kind of impressed by how that puts on the eye. Oh my God, okay. See, the new Maybelline palette, they don't even include a sponge applicator. Like, I literally got the CoverGirl one for the sponge applicator. So I think I'm gonna go in with like the pointed side, because I just used like the typical rounded side for the peach. I think I'm gonna go with the pointed side for the teal. Oh God, oh, whoa. Okay, okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. Hold on, we're gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this. This is gonna be fine. Yes, this is fine. Oh dear. That's better. That was better. I think just my hand angle. I really wish Erin was here. Erin Parsons, where are you? Oh my God. Help. Okay, so after this, it says color for lashes. Yay. Since you go easy with eyeshadow. Did I go easy with the eyeshadow in designing this look? Okay, sure. I applied teal eyeliner and teal eyeshadow. And it's like, since you go easy with eyeshadow in designing this look, you can add another color accent to the eyes with a tinted mascara. This is easy? This is like what I would wear on a night. If I was like wanting to go out and like feel cool, like 10 years ago. This is like what I would do. This is not what I would do to go to the office. First, apply a coat of black mascara, allow that to dry. Then brush middle of upper eyelashes with bright blue. That's nuts. That's cooler than what I thought. My friends were like ragging on the electric blue mascara, but I think it's kind of cool. Eyes are done. That was it. No, I will say like some tutorials usually have like 3 colors and they'll do like a bright pink on top or something, or like a lavender, but since this one's just 2 because, you know, it's a simple eye color eyeshadow thing, we're gonna do blue mascara. Stroke a makeup brush over powder blusher, then shake off the excess. I have seen other tutorials that say to use an apricot blush, but I have never actually used an apricot blush. I've always just been a pink blush girly, tons of color. It's very powdery. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna be really honest, I'm actually impressed by the eyeshadows and eyeliners, and this blush actually is fine. It's great. It's unoffensive, not too strong, Like, it's just enough color that I don't look totally dead. I think this is where I really messed up. When I think of my childhood, I think specifically of this lipstick, which is the Rose Quartz Shimmer from CoverGirl. I don't know if this is the exact color that my mom had when I was little, but I remember she had this pink shimmer lipstick because she let me wear some when we did our mother-daughter photos at JCPenney. And this was definitely like 1990, 91, but I remember thinking that I was so glamorous for it, okay? So this is like a big deal. So I had to like get this purely for the nostalgia of it, but apparently by like 1987, like shimmer lipsticks were like kind of out and they were more into like satin finishes with like a little touch of gloss. I kind of want to wear the shimmer, so I bought 2 shimmers. Okay, so this is iced mauve. So my lip liner might have been like a little too orange for it, but this color is super fun. It's almost blue. It almost has like a blue shimmer in it. Okay. Okay, I accept this. I accept this. So I don't care if my shimmer lipstick is not considered trendy right now for 1987. I love it. I dig it. I like this. I think I look fun. Okay, so now that my makeup's done, I'm gonna like tweak my hair a little bit, just make it a little bit more 80s. I need some hot rollers. And then we need to pick our outfit. And because this wouldn't be a fashion history channel without tons of outfits to pick from, your girl went vintage shopping this weekend and she bought so many things. So let's cut to the shopping montage while I finish my hair.
All right, well, that was a fun foray into 1980s fashion. Everything I wore in that dressing sequence was vintage. The only non-vintage items were my blue jeans and the silver shoes. Literally everything else, including those black jellies, were vintage. I had a really good time vintage shopping for this video, and I really want to thank Merch Gardens for pushing me to embrace my inner 80s boss lady. I had a really good time researching the 80s makeup and hair and fashion. I hope that you all have enjoyed those episodic previews of Merch Gardens throughout the video. If you want to give the game a try, it is free to download and free to play. You can use this QR code, just scan it with your phone right now, or just use the link in my description below to download the game and get started. When I played the game, because I played the game before I agreed to do this collaboration, I literally 40 minutes, guys. Just 40 minutes gone. I was so engrossed in the gameplay, and now I kid you not, I play it every night. And honestly, once I'm done editing this video, I will probably sit on the couch and continue to play this game. Just a huge thank you for Merge Gardens for this collaboration and the sponsorship for this video. I do hope you all also enjoyed it. I had a really good time making this video. So if you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And with that, my friends, I'll see you all back here another time with another video. Bye. And yes, Mom, I did wear the pantyhose. You told me to. I listened. You can't say I never listened to you. It looks like a potato sack. Then you put the belt on with the shoulder pads. Oh my God. Amazing. Amazing. I love to see it. Like, look how beefy these shoulder pads are, guys. Like, the 1890s had nothing on these. These, I could take a nap on these. Yes. Yes. We love this. I was very excited for this dress. It cost me $16. This thing literally has its original tags. Someone paid $135 in 1980s money for this dress, and then they never wore it.